Hey guys, welcome back to Vintage Vibes. It's about 9:30, Saturday night, May the 3rd. Y'all believe it's already May 3rd already? I can't believe that. So don't pay any attention to my squeaky chair because I got to pull it up and it has a squeaky problem. Anyway, oh, and the shaking. You know, you got to have the shaking along with the squeaky chair. But anyway, so let's get started. We have a Michael's clearance haul and more that I found a few little items, not many. I specifically just went over there to get some tools that I needed. Because I noticed that my tool things were like really skinny. And I think that's why I was having such a hard time with the jump rings and stuff. So I went over there and found a cool tool set that I'm fixing to show y'all. Hopefully it will work better. Let's see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, so jumping in, let's get going. This is some gems I found. 50 cents a pack. I thought that was pretty cool. I did get some for the giveaway also. There's this pretty emerald looking green color. There's 40 on there. So they got these in the clearance section. And then I got this pretty garnet looking red. It's really dark. And then they had some black ones. I don't have no black ones like this. And then I got this red color. It's a little bit different than the garnet. It's more like a Christmas red. And then they had orange. 50 cents. That's pretty cool. So that's a good buy. That's pretty good. Good buy. Okay. And then the next thing I found was these jump rings. Bead landing jump rings. Okay, I needed a few more jump rings, the smaller ones. And then I found some more head pins because mine were getting kind of low. And so I just went ahead and got, those were like $3 and something. And I think it like, because it took 15 off, then I had a 20 off. So that was $2 something. And then I found these cute head pins that has the little balls on the end of them. I don't know if y'all can see the little balls, but I've been after those. So I finally found some. Okay, so they had those. All right, so I ended up getting those. Okay. And then, put that over there. I don't want to take a picture of that. And then they had, gotta figure out where I'm at. I always like to do my stuff in order. Okay. Okay, so I found this little bead kit that was at the Easter. And their Easter was 80% off. And I paid like $1 or something for this. It wasn't very much. But maybe 90 off. I don't know. I think it's 80. It wasn't very much. But it's a nice little, it looks like a little egg. And it's got charms and it's like the whole little kit. So it's pretty cool for that. I mean, that's you can't beat that price, okay? So I thought that was neat, okay? And then I found, and they had tons of Easter stuff, but I didn't need it. I didn't need it. So go check out your Michaels. And at my store, they've had like a lot of oil paints and stuff on clearance. Like a ton of like, the Misty Tool type things, but they're still kind of pricey in the clearance. I don't know why they want to make you pay all that money. But then but it's like $20, and then they had but the oil paint's like a 24 piece. It's like $5. That's not too bad. But I don't oil paint, so I didn't need that. But it was a good deal. And they just have a lot of different things. They did have some distress inks and stuff. Still too high, but let me tell y'all, their Tim Holtz distress ink pads, like, you know, the ones the oxide ones we always buy, they're up to $12.99 now. So if you got any for $5 or any deals from Joann's, you got to steal, because they have gone up to $12.99 a piece, and I will not ever pay that for that. So I'm glad I got mine when I did. So, but I got these beads. Okay, and then I found some paper clips. They had one pack for $1. The little bows and butterflies, those are really cute. So those were $1. Okay, And then I found these stickers, the Easter stickers, and they were $1. Okay, and these are the little ones you get in there. You get 120 pieces, which I thought was really neat. I don't have stickers like these, so. And then I found these. Those were $1. And I like that little carrot with the sunglasses. He's really cute. So I thought those were pretty cool. Okay, so I got those two kinds right there. And then I got these CHENILLE stems. Okay, and those were $1. So those were pretty nice. I don't have these little colors. I thought those would be really cool to use on some projects and stuff. So those are neat. So I got those colors. And then they only had one, but that's kind of all I needed too. And then I found this twine, and it said it was regular $7.99, and that was 74 cents. So that was a pretty good deal for that. Okay. All right, and then I found a paper pad that was $3. Still in clearance. They had another one, but I left it. But you know, I probably should have got it, but that's okay. I got some more of these. But I'm going to take this one, and y'all have all seen me talk about this one. This is a real pretty one that has the autumn stuff, and it has the gold foiling. But I'm gonna take this paper pad, and I think there's 2 sheets each, or 3. Is it 2 or 3? There's 2 each. And I'm going to cut it in 6x6, and I'm going to tie it with a pretty ribbon, and I'm going to put this in my giveaway. I'm going to make up some sets for different swaps and giveaways and stuff. So I thought that would be nice to do for somebody. So I'm going to do that. Okay, with that one. Okay, for $3, you can't really, you can't beat that to do that for somebody. Okay, and then here's the tools that I picked up. I got this bead landing set, y'all, because I was looking at the different, because I think that my pliers are like so thin that I was having a hard time like holding it and getting a grip on it. And I needed some round nose pliers that I don't have. And I was going over there to get a round nose and a couple nice pair of the thicker for the jump rings and stuff, because mine are so thin, like they are, and they don't really go together good anymore, like, because they're old. They're like 25 years old. And so I thought, well, so I was looking, and I noticed the prices, like some of that stuff is very pricey, and I thought, oh my god, they were high for each piece or whatever. Some were $10, some were $12.99, $14, and it kind of went up from there. You can get my drift. But I found this pack, okay, and it rung up for like $12 or something. And then if the 15% automatically comes off in their system, and then I had a 20 off in my email. And then it knocked this down to like $8, which I thought was pretty cool. Pretty good, because it gave me an extra bent nose pair, some cutters, which they kind of look, now that I'm looking at them under there, I hope they're not greasy or nasty. That kind of looks nasty under there. I'm hoping that I ain't messing myself up by getting dirty stuff, but I'm going to have to, but they're bead landing, so I'm going to have to probably maybe clean them off, but I think they'll be fine for that price. I mean, as long as they help and as long as they work, we'll be good. Okay, so I got those, and let me see. Okay, and then I found some little magnets. Those were like $1 or $2. Oh, those were $2, and I think they rung up like $1 when they finally rung up. And then I found these note pads. They were 50 cents, so they had about 5 of those left over there, so I just went ahead and picked them up. Now there's nothing inside. They're just this is a nice feel. You can actually just leave this. You don't really even have to change that. You could add something to it if you're doing like field notes, journals or something. But this is a nice, you don't even have to decorate this. You can just do the inside parts. So that's pretty cool. And then I got the pretty butterfly ones, which I wouldn't change that. I would just stick it in another kind of journal and use it, you know. So that was really cool. 50 cents. That's not bad for that. Okay. And I think the last thing, because I didn't get very much. I was not really looking to get a whole bunch of stuff right now. But I mainly just went in there to get those tools. Okay, and then those beads. But I did find this at clearance. This was $3. I gave my other one like in the swap thing we did. In the Pinkalicious swap, and I loved it, and I wanted one, but they finally had some that went to clearance, so I thought that was pretty cool. I ended up get one of those back, so I thought, well, I'm gonna keep that one this time. So anyway, but that is all from Michael's. Okay, and like I said, I didn't get a whole lot of things from there. Okay, yeah, that's all of that. But anyway, so but y'all have a good night. I love you. God bless you more. Bye.